Dear Mr. Krohn, I was on my way to school second semester of my sophomore year. 3 hours before meeting you, I was told to watch out for Mr. Krohn. My newly obtained acquaintances said, he's very strict and mean. My first instinct as a teacher's pet was to impress you with my 8th grade Gold Key Scholastic Award. But it didn't seem to faze you, so I began drawing what I believed were my highest quality drawings. But when I had a question about my drawing, you tell me, think about the 3 C's. Then nearly every week, we would repeat the same conversation with you explaining composition, concept, and another C word. I, quite honestly, still don't remember what the 3rd C was. My artwork improved enough to get into AP Studio Art, but not enough to stop using internet reference photos or drawing subjects with no background. After a semester of late drawings, AP Studio Art became an additional year of late drawings. All 11 of us Studio Art students sat in a circle while you explained the syllabus. We were all thinking, yeah, I can do this. This doesn't seem that bad. We're all just going to draw pictures and hope we pass the final exams. Until you finally told us there'll be a drawing due every Tuesday. That's when each of us let out our own sigh and realized we're all screwed. You used to irritate me for my own good. You would say, looks good on someone else's drawing after looking at it for a few seconds, when I could point out something to fix. Alternatively, when you look at my drawing, there would always be something to fix. You kept pushing me to improve. My whole goal of AP Studio Art was to prove you wrong. To prove that I could finish a drawing without you pointing out something to refine. This continued on until one school night when I was up till 3 in the morning, finishing a charcoal drawing of my dad. December of 2014, you examined that drawing for at least 3 minutes, trying to find something I could improve. Throughout the nights, I could only hear your voice in my head. You taught me that you're never as good as you really think you are. That doesn't change the fact that nearly every drawing was late. I spent many hours outside of class drawing, and possibly slightly more hours crying. You would tell me, make smaller drawings, they won't take as long. But every time you would tell me to draw smaller, I would draw slightly larger. My drawings grew to the point where we had to tape 2 mat boards together because my drawing exceeded the maximum size available. You always say my artwork improves so much because of my hard work. But my persistence does not compare to your dedication. If you didn't encourage me or lead the way, I would not have continuously progressed. I was not a great artist when I met you, but you taught me how to be an amazing artist. Aside from my drawings, you dealt with listening to my crazy work stories, arbitrary thoughts, and emotional issues. You became the person I went to for anything. I'd be excited to go to school just to share a story or picture with you. You also shared your personal stories about your childhood in stone face. You taught me that teaching is more than giving students new knowledge. Teaching is inspiring change. Additionally, there were these moments that continue to make me laugh. Notably, when you stated, "So I'm assuming you worked yesterday?" I questioned, "Yeah, how'd you know?" You responded, "Because your car wasn't in the driveway." I uncontrollably laughed and marked, "No, that's not okay." And you casually replied, "No, it's okay." Any outsider who didn't know your daughter's friend lives down my street would consider that a form of stalking. I have another random memory of your birthday this year, when I brought you a molten lava cake from Chili's. I came into your classroom after school, and you were sitting at your computer chair, leaning as far back as possible, and you looked at me with the most satisfying look. You ate your entire lunch and molten lava cake with the ice cream by yourself. The night I had to deny my acceptance to MCAD, I was incredibly disappointed in myself because I couldn't afford the college I've dreamt about since middle school. I spent hours talking to Mr. Hart about my fear of disappointing you. When I finally gained the courage to tell you days later, I was still fighting back the tears, but you were understanding of the situation. Even when I was at my lowest, you kept encouraging me and continued informing me of all the opportunities. You were still telling me about possible colleges weeks later. There was one thing I never told you about that situation though. You sent me an email the day I told you, and it made me cry more. I don't mean the figurative crying on the inside because I like to exaggerate often. I mean, I was ugly crying with the loud wail sounds, puffy red eyes at my dad cradling me in his arms. I couldn't imagine that it was possible for one person to believe in me so much. You taught me how to believe in myself. Even though you lost to a blind woman in a drawing competition, you will forever remain my favorite teacher. I am completely ready to be an adult and respected as an artist, now that I won't be in high school. However, I will not have an excuse to spend the first 3 hours of my day with the person who inspires me the most. Thank you for believing in me when no one else did. Thank you for allowing me to use your classroom as my own studio. Most of all, thank you for teaching me how to be a great artist, mentor, teacher, and friend.